Hey everybody, it's James Lamar. I'm back with another video. I'm wishing that everyone is well. Today was like a cleaning day for my place, my apartment, my humble abode. I call it Smith Kingdom. Um, that's funny, right? The King James version. And basically because it was a rainy day, and I got up early, and I'm just like, you know what, let's go ahead and tackle some stuff. I wanted to clean my bathroom, not necessarily wanted to, but I know it needed to be done. And that's the nature of life, right? Sometimes we have to do things that we don't necessarily want to do, but we know that they still need to get done. So that's what I tackled, and then that led to me cleaning my whole living room, basically. So most of my apartment, um, and then later on, I went out to do some shopping for the house and stuff like that. I got some nice candles from Bath and Body Works. Uh, they smell really good. I did not anticipate to get like three of them, but that's how much I like some of the scents, and they were currently discounted. And then I went to do some like food shopping and stuff like that. So now I'm back. I'm back home, and I've had dinner and everything like that. And yeah, we gonna jump right into this new video. Last video, I ended it by basically saying I had moved back home to Florida after, the lease ended with my ex and everything. And basically, we get back in contact at some point in time. I had asked about like our security deposit check, and apparently, because both of our names were on it, we both had to sign it and be present when it was being cashed, right? So that's the only reason why I had reached out back to him, because how things had gone and how things were left, I was just saying that I was done. Nonetheless, basically, that conversation somewhat leads to a kind of like a rekindling, a reconnection in some type of way. And I wouldn't say necessarily like automatically, excuse me, automatically, you know, looking to be in a relationship or anything like that. But communication you know, started to be regular and consistent again. And, you know, not immediately, but I would say like later on down the line, like sometime in 2019, it started to become more regular and whatnot. And basically, I felt like we were getting back on in a good space, and you know I did miss him. I'm not gonna lie, I did miss him. Based on the history, based on the time frame, based on how long we had known each other and been around each other and everything like that. Like I feel like that was normal. You know what I mean? Or I felt like it was normal. And so eventually I say, I think we'd be doing a disservice to one another if we didn't go ahead and give ourselves another shot, like give the relationship a second try, a second chance. And, I was asking how did he feel about that and whatever. He had brought something to my attention that of what he had heard or found out about something that I did while we were in a relationship. Now, at this point in time, it's when that situation happened, it was like maybe like a 3 or 4 year difference or whatever, you know. Nonetheless, I did something that I'm not proud of or whatever while we were together, and and he asked me about it, and so, I said, well, I understand that you found this information out. Nonetheless, we're just talking or whatever. Him and I are just talking. So I'm asking, with you knowing that information now, um, would you want to continue this relationship? Would you want to try again? Would you want to, go ahead and give it another shot? So basically, he was like, I think he said yes. I think he eventually said yes, that he would like to or whatever. So we kept communicating, FaceTiming, different things, asking about each other's days and stuff like that. Um, so eventually, I decide that I'm going to purchase him a plane ticket, a round trip plane ticket, and I'm gonna have him come down. I had acquired my place, this current place, and I was going to have him come and visit for a weekend. That way we could, like, test the waters, see what's up, see what's going on, and go from there. And this was like, now at this point, this is August 2019, I believe. So basically, and I think I had booked the ticket for September, and I think I booked it maybe like a week before or the week of. It kind of would have marked kind of like close to what our anniversary date was of, meeting and stuff. So I kind of, I was thinking about stuff and being proactive as far as thinking about, how to make it nice and, everything like that. So basically, I, text him. I said, hey, pack your bags or whatever, I had showed him, I screenshotted the itinerary, and he was like, what's this? And I'm like, it's a flight. It's a flight for you to come to visit or whatever. As I had been talking to him and listening to him and listening to his work schedule and times that he got off and different things and so on and so forth, the days that he worked, I had planned it literally around, so that it will work with his schedule and everything. So I was very thoughtful in this process of planning this out, planning this trip out. Mind you, the round trip ticket was like 300, close to $400. So this wasn't a cheap, task or whatever. And like I was like, yeah, so be at the airport by this time on this day. Let me know if you need money for Uber or whatever. Like I was being very genuine and sincere in what I was planning. And I kind of got like nothing. Like he didn't really respond to it. He didn't really even say anything really. And I was just like, okay. Like prior to that, we had been fine. Conversation had been fulfilling and everything, as so I thought. But he kind of gave me his ass to kiss. You know what I mean? Like essentially. And basically, I definitely feel some type of way about that, because I'm like, you know, you're asking me to show you, in so many words that I'm serious about, re-entertaining this relationship. And I'm the type of person that I put my money where my mouth is. I'm a man of my word, and I mean what I say, and I say what I mean, and I stand by that. So things that I say I'm gonna do, I'm gonna do them. If I don't do it, or something like that, I will make provisions. If there's something that's preventing me from doing something that I committed to or whatever, I will make provisions, or whatever that may look like. But I'm a man of my word, so I'm showing you the effort that I'm serious about, re-entertaining the relationship. But you're giving me your ass to kiss. So I was like, oh, okay, it's no problem, whatever. So, remember that abandonment stuff, that, this is my first relationship stuff, first real long-term relationship, first relationship with the guy. So even after that, like I stopped talking to him or whatever, but I think it was sometime shortly after that, I just hit him up and I was like, hey, how you doing, whatever, because I was like, you know what, I'm gonna stop trying to, pursue this relationship again. I can just be friendly and cordial. Like we can be friends. At the end of the day, we can be friends. Again, like as I discussed in my first video, I believe, I discussed that me and my ex-girlfriend, we still have a good relationship to this day. Again, we don't talk often, but we still have each other's numbers. And basically, we still text each other on our birthdays and stuff of that nature, So I like maintaining good relationships with people. Like, I got all love for her, you know what I mean? And probably will, as long as I'm here, So I was thinking about the situation with him in the same manner. Like, there's no bad blood, so I'll just be cool with you. So, he did respond and everything like that. And then we kind of get back in communication. Again, at this point, I'm not looking to re-entertain a relationship like ever again. Like ever. Because you gave me a big slap in my face and didn't appreciate it. Excuse me. And honestly, it felt like it was like get back. You know what I mean? And my whole thing is, I asked you, with you knowing the information that you knew, would you be okay with moving forward? You responded yes or whatever. So I went based off of that. You know what I'm saying? Like, why? Like, whatever. So I have a trip planned to go to Mexico with one of my best friends, like the end of October 2019. And basically, we had been talking again, like I said, and he knew that I had this trip planned and everything, and how excited I was for it, and so on and so forth. And he was wishing me a great trip and all this kind of stuff. So I go to Mexico, I have a good time, whatever. So shortly after getting back in town, one of my ex best friends, called me or texted me and basically said, "Hey, I got something to tell you or whatever." And I was like, "Okay, what's up?" So, eventually we get in contact, and he tells me that my ex basically hit him up while I was in Mexico and was trying to like flirt with him. And keep in mind, during our relationship, my ex had decided that he was not cool with this person. He was not cool with this friend that I had. Just out of nowhere, he was just like, "Oh, I don't like him. I don't like him." And I'm like, "But why? What did he do?" "Oh, I don't like him." Like, and he gave me some type of reason or excuse, and I was just like, I just felt like it didn't really hold much weight or whatever. But I'm like, he can have that. At the end of the day, me and this person are still going to be friends. You know what I mean? Because this person ain't done nothing to me. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it is what it is. You know what I mean? Um, so you had already decided that you weren't even cool with this person. You hadn't communicated with this person. You and my ex best friend hadn't communicated, hadn't said anything to each other in years or whatever. You know what I mean? And then you text him out of the blue. Like, he doesn't even have your number at this point saved, and you text him out of the blue, and you're trying to flirt with him and said some type. I don't even remember the exact exchange, but it was just like, what? Like, why would you do that? So I was very confused, and I was like, I called him thereafter. I think I FaceTimed him, and I was like, "Hey," and he was like, "Hey," acting as though nothing had happened, nothing was going on. And I'm like, "Yeah, so such and such contacted me, and they basically said this, that you did this and whatever XYZ." And I was like, "Is that true or whatever? Like, did that happen or whatever?" And he was like, "I don't know what you're talking about." Da, 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 like, was trying to change the subject and everything like that. And I'm like, "Hey, I'm looking for an answer or whatever." So he wasn't giving me one really. And I was like, "Listen, if you don't have an apology for me or whatever, then we really don't have anything to talk about or whatnot. Not exactly, I don't remember exactly how that conversation ended, but I know that I was like, whatever, like, I'm over this boy because he continues to do stuff as if he's trying to get back at me. And it's like, how are you trying to get back? Why and how are you trying to get back at me when we're not even in a relationship anymore? We're not even in a relationship anymore. We're exes. And I was just doing my best to be cool with you. And you doing some shit behind my back. For what? Like, you ain't got nothing else better to do in LA? Like, you don't have some fashions that you can be putting together for your career? Why are you over here trying to why are you over here trying to do things to, to hurt me essentially? Like, what is that? You know what I mean? And so I kind of was like over it at that point or whatever. And then I was like, I'm done. Like, I'm not communicating with him anymore. Fuck that. So that was October 2019. I think I spoke to him in like November 2019. And after that conversation, I was like, okay, whatever. So once I say it, like, I'm most of the time, once I say that I'm done, like, it's like, that's it. You know what I mean? So the months roll by. January 2020 comes along and he DMs me or whatever on Instagram. And I'm not sure whether that was from his regular account or from his fashion page or whatever. But because I I probably had blocked him or something. I can't remember. But he basically contacts me and says, hey, what's up? And I was like, listen, I don't know what's going on here, but I'm like, literally, if you don't have an apology for me, like, we have nothing to discuss. We have nothing to talk about. And so he was like, oh, eventually, he didn't even want to do it, but eventually he apologizes and he was like, I'm sorry, da 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 da, XYZ. I said, listen, okay, look, I accept your apology, but I'm letting you know if you try one more thing with me, I will have nothing left for you. And he was like, oh, don't say that. Don't put that out into the atmosphere and XYZ and so on and so forth. And I was like, all that is fine and dandy. I'm letting you know. It's not about putting anything in the atmosphere. I'm putting your ass on notice. I'm letting you know that if you try one more thing with me, I will have nothing left for you. Like, no more chances, no more you can come back and apologize and whatever, and then I wait for the ball to drop for you to do some other shit to me or whatever, XYZ. You do one more thing and that's it. Like, I'm done. So he complies, whatever. So we're in communication up until April, and up until the day before my birthday. Now this is 2020. Pandemic hits, right? Pandemic really hits like March 2020. So I had a whole bunch of stuff planned for my birthday or whatever. It was my 30th, so I was excited about it and everything. I had different events planned. I had a photo shoot planned. Like, I just had so much that I wanted to do. Unfortunately, COVID came in and, kind of like knocked everything to the side. It canceled everything. So I made provisions or whatever. So basically, I'm talking with him. He knew all the stuff that I had planned, all the stuff that I was trying to do, whatever, leading up to my birthday. He knows my birthday, and he knows how important my birthday is to me as well. My birthday is very important to me. April 14th, as I discussed previously. Um, Aries all day. But my birthday is very important to me because I treat my birthday like like a holiday. Oh, excuse me. I was gonna say a personal holiday, but I treat it like a national holiday. Okay. So I treat my birthday like a national holiday because I'm such a giving person. I'm such a selfless person, or I have been, and you know, I help people, I help family, I help friends. I'm always there for everybody, X, Y, Z, so on and so forth. So when it comes down to my day and my special day, I hold it very dear to me, and I hold it with the utmost importance. That's my personal day to like be selfish. That's what I see it as. You know what I'm saying? So he knows how important birthdays are to me. He knows, how important I actually make other people's birthdays who I care about, essentially friends, family, or whatever, who I care about, his birthday previously in the past, I make very important. I threw this boy a whole um, surprise birthday party or whatever when he turned 23. The turnout was incredible. Everything, like, it was great. I had a color scheme, all that kind of stuff. The pictures were sickening, bitch. Okay. Uh, it was like, I said denim and white or whatever, and variations of the sort. Bitch, turned out sickening. Okay. So I do the damn thing when it comes down to people who I love and care for, as far as making sure that, they feel loved and appreciated on their special day. So, yes, I anticipate the same in return. He knows how important birthdays are to me. And basically, the day came and I didn't hear from him. I hadn't heard from him or whatever. And his mom actually fucking loved me. Like, his mom, like, adores me. I believe she still does to this day. I mean, because she'd always show me love online, on Facebook, on Instagram, things of that nature. We were friends, whatever. And she'd always like stuff, comment on stuff, and so on and so forth, continuously show love. It seemed like she really had an affinity towards me. And so she told me happy birthday. And of course, I had, like, happy birthday to me status, and, maybe a picture and different things. And she literally commented on everything. It was like, happy birthday, several times. So I screenshotted one of those and I sent it to him. And he was like, oh, Lord, LOL. And I'm like, yeah, like, I don't know if it was a comment or a question. I can't recall. But it was like something of the sort, like, yeah, I haven't heard anything from you today or whatever, so on and so forth. And I never received a response to that text message. So I'm like, that's like weird as fuck. Like, that's grimy as fuck. It's my day. And because we had just spoken on the phone the day before, like FaceTime. So you knew what was up. You knew all the plans. You knew everything. And then you purposely decided that you weren't going to wish me a happy birthday. Okay, cool. No problem. No problem, sir. No problem. We're good. What did I say? What did I say in January of 2020? What did I say? Say, you got one more time. You do anything else, we're done. And I stand by my word. I stand by my word. I hadn't heard from him, and then I was just like, oh, okay, whatever. Like, I think I blocked him on everything. You know, anything that I knew to block him on, I blocked him. Now I'm living my life and I'm moving forward with my life, right? I don't know, some months later down the line, now I'm getting phone calls from different numbers and FaceTimes from different numbers and different things like that. You had done gotten a new phone or a new number or something. I don't really recall, but you know, it was from an LA area code, 213. So, I started to kind of pick it up, like, kind of, I started to pick up that, more than likely, if I was getting a phone call and it had a 213 area code, it was more than likely my ex. You know what I mean? Or a text or whatever. Of course, I would know in a text, And, I would immediately block. Mm-mm. We have nothing to talk about. I told you. I told you. I told you. Try me one more time. I'm done. And to this day, my ex continues to try to contact me from whatever he can. I couldn't remember the fashion account, the fashion IG account, the name of it because it was like this long underscore or whatever. So, he had found a way to contact me from that. You know, um, I think it was like February of this year, I believe. For instance, again, I'm talking about from 2020. So like literally, you found a way to contact me from your fashion page, 2022. Mind you, since 2020, I've been blocking each communication and so on and so forth. So in 2022, when he was trying to say, he hit me up from the fashion account and was saying that, oh, he was going to be in town and so on and so forth. He was going to be back in Florida for a visit, for maybe like a work visit or something. I can't remember. And that, he would like to meet up or something of that sort. I was like, I cannot believe this man is still trying to like get back in communication with me. So eventually, I thought about it. I wasn't, I thought about blocking or whatever, but I was like, this time I'll respond. And I responded and I was like, hey, so, hey, thanks for the invite. However, as we're in as we've moved forward in life, and I believe it's best to leave the past in the past to continue moving forward with our lives. Essentially, I said something, I'm paraphrasing, of course, but I said something of that nature. And eventually he responded, he was like, oh, okay, cool. And then he was like, I made it or whatever. It's so like a full circle being back here and whatever, XYZ. Okay, like, I don't care. Like we're not friends. We're not friends, bitch. Like we're not friends. Like stop trying to like have dialogue with me. I'm not giving you that. We're not doing that. We're not. We are not doing that. Have a safe trip. I'm glad you made it safe. Have a safe trip. Take care. Like, and no, you don't deserve my energy. You don't deserve to be around me at all. Not with how you left things the last exchange that we had in LA. Not based on all the shit that you were doing to try to get back at me, to try to intentionally hurt me. I have a big problem with bitches who try to intentionally hurt me, by the way. Huge problem. Huge. Because the gag is like, I never, and I'm like, mark my words, like, I never try to intentionally hurt anyone. Like, if I've hurt anyone, not if, because I have, when I've hurt people in the past, it hasn't been intentional necessarily. You know what I mean? I could maybe think of like one or two instances or whatever, because I just thought about like me and my mother or whatever. And because me and my mother have had a tumultuous relationship, but we're in a good space now. But that she was one person who could make me black out, see red, go from here to my anger. I used to have a huge anger problem, my anger. And that beast still sits there, in some capacity or whatever. And when bitches keep poking at it, okay, you know what I mean? But no, I don't intentionally hurt people. I don't intentionally hurt people. I don't. That's not my character. That's not my heart. Even, and that's the gag, because even after I've been done wrong so many times by so many different people or whatever, I like, I still don't like have this thing of like get back or revenge or whatever. Because I'm like, revenge is not within me. Like, it's not my task to get revenge. That's God's duty. They say what it says, vengeance is mine, right? That's not my job. I'm not supposed to seek that. If someone's done me wrong, I can at least just remove myself and continue moving forward with my fucking life. So basically, I don't respond to, you know, he's trying to have conversation with me. I don't respond or whatever. But like I said, between the years of 2020, when I decided, okay, that's it, April 2020, my birthday, up until recently, up until like last month or whatever, this dude has been trying to contact me. It's crazy. It is insane. He will not give up. And the last exchange was in relation to, he did basically essentially give condolences for my grandmother. Again, this was from a number that was unsaved. Whatever. I knew who it was based on the context, right? He basically, wishes me condolences or whatever. And then he's like, oh, I'm so glad that you got back on YouTube and everything, so on and so forth, and then he starts to go on. So I did say thank you, because I'm not an ass, so thank you for the condolences. You said that you loved her too or whatever. I'm glad that you did, because she did a lot for you, you know what I mean? With providing you a place to stay, as did I. Like, you know, um, and my family, if you're brought around or whatever, no matter who you are, for the most part, say, I have four sisters and three that I grew up with. If the three bring different people around, their friends, to them and whatever, we treat them like family, like the other siblings treat them like family. Friends, romantic interests and stuff like that. You really get brought into the family as like family. You know what I mean? Like, that's how we treat you. So, that's how my grandmother essentially started to treat, my ex. So you should, I'm glad that you did love her. Because again, she was there, for you. But then you start going into dialogue about my video, like one of my videos, and something that I said, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. I don't know how many times it's going to take for you to understand that that's not how this is going to go. I don't want to talk to you. You will never have access to me again. And I'm sure you're watching or whatever. I do wish you well. I wish you well, and I wish healing upon you. I wish you healing. I'm not even going to say continued healing, because I don't even feel like you've taken steps to heal. You're a narcissist. You are a narcissist. If you don't know what it is, you need to look it up. I have the definition here, okay? So one second. So dictionary.com defines narcissist as a person who is overly self-involved and often vain and selfish. Number 2 says a person who suffers from narcissism, deriving erotic gratification from admiration of his or her own physical or mental attributes. And then Google says and I also Google narcissistic personality disorder. Narcissistic personality disorder, one of several types of personality disorders, is a mental condition in which people have an inflated sense of their own importance, a deep need for excessive attention and admiration, troubled relationships, and a lack of empathy for others. And then on the side, it has narcissistic personality disorder, also called NPD, a disorder in which a person has an inflated sense of self-importance. Narcissistic personality disorder is found more commonly in men. The cause is unknown, but likely involves a combination of genetic and environmental factors. Symptoms include an excessive need for admiration, disregard for others' feelings, an inability to handle any criticism, and a sense of entitlement. The disorder needs to be diagnosed by a professional. Treatment involves talk therapy. So over time, like after, 2020, well, I would say like within 2020, and I was watching YouTube and reading up on different things and so on and so forth and watching videos, and they were talking about like narcissists and stuff. I started to hear a lot of these traits, and I was like, oh my God, like my ex did that, and my ex did that, and my ex said that, and my ex behaved in this manner, and we reacted in this manner, and so on and so forth. So it made me feel like the shit that I went through, like I wasn't fucking crazy. You understand what I mean? Like I was like during the relationship and things that I had to endure and experience, and that I was not understanding, because I'm a pretty decent person to this guy. So I don't understand like why it feels like it's a constant dark cloud over my fucking life. Like it was because of this. It's because he's a narcissist. And that's what started my identification of what a narcissist is. And at the time, I thought it just related to romantic relationships. I thought it just extended to romantic relationships. But I later learned that a narcissist could be your parent, your teacher, your coworker, your boss, your supervisor, your best friends. It could be your siblings. It could be, it could be whoever. Honestly, it could be whoever. And I later learned that, some friends were and things of that nature, which I'm not sure if I'll get into or whatever in the next video, but this is how I started to identify. This was like the start of me identifying, certain people who are narcissists and who have narcissistic traits. So yeah, this video has gotten to almost 40 minutes. This will not be an hour video, but I appreciate you guys tuning in once again to the King James Version. It was great. It was a great conversation. And, please, if you don't mind, I would love to have your support. If you could go ahead and like the video, subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already. Remember that you must create a YouTube account in order to subscribe to the channel. It'll be so helpful. You can also turn on those post notifications right underneath the video. Next to my name, there should be a bell on the side, and you can select personalized or all on the bell notification so that you'll actually get alerted when I actually post new content and new videos every time. And if you can share, that would be great, for me to continue to get my messages out there and to get them into the YouTube algorithm. and to, get those views, so that it goes into the algorithm. I definitely appreciate you guys. Thank you again. And I'm wishing everybody a great weekend. It's a Saturday that I'm recording this. So I'm wishing everybody a great rest of their weekend. Love and light to you all. Peace and love as well. All right, take care. Bye bye.